Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to you Akh and Akhwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Alright. As you can see, going in on a little bit of news today. Alright, this is from the New York Times. It reads, former Minneapolis officer sentenced to 3 years in George Floyd case. Alright, and at first, I was looking at this, I didn't know if I was going to do anything about it, but hey, through the Spirit, I wanted to bring up a few topics, alright, and grab some scriptures, of course. Alright, so this is Thomas Lane, alright, one of the officers that was with Derek Chauvin, alright, when the murder of George Floyd took place, alright. So it says, former Minneapolis officer sentenced to 3 years in George Floyd case. Thomas Lane pleaded guilty in May to a charge of second-degree manslaughter. He is already serving federal sentence for violating Mr. Floyd's civil rights. All right, so hey, this is what happens when Esau, it kills someone. All right, and the jurors and the judges, all right, are also Edomites. All right, or set up by Edomites. All right, because even if you get a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American judge, hey, it's not always going to be the best for you. All right, why? Because the people that are ahead of that, all right, and really are pulling all the strings are Edomites. All right, so let's look up the definition real quick of manslaughter. All right, it says the crime of killing a human without malice afterthought. Alright, what is malice? Let's grab the definition of malice. Alright, no intention or desire to do evil, ill will. Alright, well we know that isn't the case. Alright, then Esau cannot be, can't commit manslaughter. They would only be able to commit murder. Alright, because we all know that Esau has malice. Alright, which is the intention or desire to do evil or ill will. Alright, kill. Alright. Hatred, hate, alright, so we do know it, alright, it's proof, alright, let's get, here it is, this is Genesis, and I guess I didn't grab this one, alright, so real quick, manslaughter is the crime, or here.
Manslaughter.
The crime of killing a human without malice, afterthought, or otherwise in a circumstance not amounting to murder. All right, and what he was a part of was murder. All right, it was a judgment from the Most High. All right, but it would also be considered as murder without malice, afterthought. All right, and this had malice, because what does malice mean?
Malice.
All right, the intention or desire to do evil, ill will, ill feeling, hatred, hate, revenge. All right, let's grab Genesis 27:41. And Esau being the so-called white man, all right, and Jacob being the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, Jacob's name was later turned into Israel, just as Esau's name was changed into Edom. Alright? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Alright? So hey, what does it say right here? Esau hated Jacob. Alright? So so-called white people, alright, hate so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and we know that just because you're white-skinned or you're dark-skinned doesn't necessarily mean you go back to the most likely case. All right, you can be of white skin, all right, and actually go back to Israel and be an Israelite, just as you can have dark skin and go back to Esau, Edom. All right, so it's not always 100%, but hey, in cases like this, it's ever so plain that this right here is an Edomite, and so is Derek Chauvin. All right, so hey, it's very plain. It's a very plain case. Let's see here. Slocky, bear with me a moment. All right, so like it. So yeah, the crime of killing a human without malice. All right, and as we said, we got Genesis 27:41, which proves that there is malice. All right, if you hate, all right, that's malice. All right, so he did it with hate. All right, and why did he hate them? All right, because he's an Edomite. All right, and George Floyd, all right, was Israelite. All right, more than likely. All right, he could have been a Hamite as well. All right, but hey, you know, with the judgment going out on Israel, man, hey, you know, Jake's the way Jake do things. All right, hey, it brings these enemies to their enemies to anger quicker. All right, so we already know. Was George Floyd innocent? No. Okay, no, he was not. That was a case of judgment from the Most High. All right, he did something that the Most High didn't want him to do. All right. So, manslaughter, malice, we got that. All right, so it says that he's got a charge of second-degree manslaughter. All right, so we already proved that this was not manslaughter. This would be considered as murder. All right, but let's continue on. It says, a former Minneapolis police officer, Thomas Lane, was sentenced to 3 years in prison on Wednesday for his role in the killing of George Floyd in 2020. Mr. Lane, 39 years old, who pleaded guilty in May to a second-degree manslaughter charge, has been serving a 2.5-year federal sentence for violating Mr. Floyd's civil rights and will serve the 3-year sentence concurrently. All right, so he's got 3 years. All right, and he's already doing 2.5. So he's got 5.5 years. All right, 5.5 years to go, which, you know, that might get thrown out. And if he is in there for 5 years, he's not going to be in there for 5 years, all right, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to come back and tear this place up, all right, as well as save his elect. Says, as part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped a more serious charge of aiding and abetting second-degree unintentional murder, all right, and this is right where it gets, all right. This is where I want to do the lesson on, all right. This is why I grabbed this, all right. Not because I read this part, just because the whole thing, all right. They dropped, as part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped a more serious charge of aiding and abetting second-degree unintentional murder, all right, and it was intentional, all right. If you look at pictures of Thomas Lane, all right, here he is. All right, arresting him. All right, and here they are, you know, not doing anything to when, right here, not doing anything to when his neck's being nailed on. All right, so hey, now, what is aiding and abetting? All right, as part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped a more serious charge of aiding and abetting second-degree unintentional murder. Aiding and abetting. All right, aiding and abetting is a legal doctrine related to the guilt of someone who aids or abets another person in the commission of a crime. All right, what does it mean to abet? To encourage or to assist, to aid, to help, to lend a hand, to support, to back, to encourage. All right, so he did aid and abet, all right? He was guilty of aiding and abetting, all right? But as you can see, they dropped that charge. Why? Because he's an Edomite, and the prosecutors were more likely Edomites as well, all right? Now it says, so also, you know, aiding and abetting, another way you could call it would be to being an accessory to a murder, all right? If you go here, it says penalties for accessory to murder. It says the penalties for accessory to murder charges are really based on the severity of the crime and the type of case. Now listen to here, because it's going to show you how much this guy got off. All right? Now, if you are charged with aiding and abetting, as he was going to be before they dropped it, then it is very likely you will face the same penalties if convicted as the person who has committed murder. This means that you could face a felony charge with the most serious cases resulting in life in prison without parole. All right, so hey, it tells you right here. All right, it says that if you are charged with aiding and abetting, then it is very likely you will face the same penalties if convicted All right, the same penalty if convicted as the person who committed the murder. All right, and the person they're saying committed the murder was Derek Chauvin. All right, so now that we've got that, all right, you see it plain and clear. All right, Slakia, where did we get it? It was right. Let me grab it. Damn, I lost it. Where was it? Right here. All right, let's read it one more time, just to hammer it in. If you are charged with aiding and abetting, let's go back over here. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped a more serious charge of aiding and abetting second-degree unintentional murder, and it was intentional. All right, that's just more of Esau's bullshit and lie. If you are charged with aiding and abetting, then it is very likely you will face the same penalties if convicted as the person who had committed the murder. All right, so let's go and see what the person that committed the murder, what was their charge. All right, says on March 8th, 2021, Chauvin was put on trial for unintentional second-degree murder. All right, it was intentional. Again, that's Esau's fucking little things that do. Unintentional. You kneeled on the dude's neck. It was intentional murder. All right, you were Esau against Jacob. All right, you were intentionally murdering him. All right, if you weren't, you would have got off his goddamn neck, wouldn't you have? Then for unintentional second-degree murder, and I'm not sticking up for George Floyd or anything like that. We already know, hey, the Most High had a hit out on him. All right, just as he does with a lot of our other people that refuse to change. All right. So, hey, all I'm saying is that was clearly murder, all right? Just as the police force and other Edomites have clearly murdered our people time and time again. All right, are the people that got murdered innocent? No, they're not. That was all judgment of the Most High. But, hey, the people that did the killing are not innocent either, all right? It says Chauvin was put on trial for unintentional second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter before a jury in Minnesota 4th Judicial District Court. On April 20th, he was convicted of the charges. On June 25th, he was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison, minus the 199 days of credit he received for time served, with possibility of supervised release. All right, so hey, he can even get a possibility of release. All right, and he more than likely will. Contingent on factors such as good behavior after serving 2/3 of his sentence, the sentence before any deductions of time, or 15 years for the second-degree murder conviction. 15 years still. Hey, man, if that was a Jake that did something like that leaned on a so-called white man's neck, hey, he'd probably get the goddamn death penalty. All right, even if they'd find some way to do it. They would have shot him right then and there. He wouldn't have even had a chance to go to before a judge. All right, because they would have just judged him right there and just shot him dead. All right, so hey. Shows you these Edomites get off very easy. All right, they're probably getting treated very nice in prison as well. All right, so hey, let's continue on. Let's grab scripture. All right, let's grab Genesis 27:41 again. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right, so it says right here, all right, Esau, right here, says it, all right, that he will slay his brother Jacob. And what do we constantly see? We see Esau killing, I'll put it in worldly terms for you, white people killing black people, all right, so-called white people killing so-called black people, killing so-called not so-called Israelites, so-called Latinos and so-called Native Americans. All right, that's what we see. All right, white killing brown. That's what we see, so-called. All right, really red killing brown is if you really want to get down to the true colors. All right, so hey, that's what we see. So we see them killing. We see them killing our people all the time. All right, and the Most High is not just going to let that slide. All right. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. So why are these Edomites allowed to get away with all these wicked things that they do and these murders? And why do they get less charges and not killed like Jake do? Because they're the wicked, and the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. So the earth is given into their hands. All right. That's why if you look into any major political offices, who you're going to see? You're going to see Edomites. All right, law enforcement, and on top, you're going to see Edomites. All right, with rare cases of Jake sometimes being in there, but even if they are, they're Uncle T's. All right, so hey, any of the billionaires, all right, 99% of them are Edomites. All right, and well, what about the ones? What about the Arabic princes? A lot of those are Edomites too. All right, a lot of them are Edomites too. All right. So, so we got it here. Former Minneapolis officer sentenced to 3 years in George Floyd case. So all of that, and he got off with 3 years. And they'll probably cut that in half, and he'll probably do a year and a half if he does any time at all. All right. So, and that's because the earth is given to these people right now. All right. Why? Because they're set up to punish us. All right. They're set up to punish us. Why? Because we were going off. All right. We weren't keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. All right, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We weren't following after His word. All right, we were worshiping false gods. All right, following after the ways of the heathen. All right. So that's how it is. He set him up. He set Esau up. All right, as our punishers. All right, because we know that Esau has always hated us. All right, and that's why they're over us right now. But hey, he's not going to let that stay like that forever, as we're going to get into continue as we continue through this lesson. All right, he is going to come back and repay these people for the evil that they have done. All right, but right now, the earth is given into the hand of them. All right, Job 9:24. Once again, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, so hey, we already see that. That's why everything is white. All right, you open if you look at pictures of the Bible, it's all so-called white. All right, if you look at pictures of who the Most High is supposed to be, they make them white. All right, they make a sun white. All right, everything's all white. All right, and that's because why? Because the earth is given into their hands at the time being. All right, this is 2 Maccabees 7:31. All right, showing that they're not going to be able to just get away with this scot-free, as they would say. And thou, that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of the Most High. All right, so these people aren't going to be able to just get away and slither their little snake asses out of this. All right, that's not how it's going to be. All right, well, the Most High set him up. Hey, man, you don't know. You can't put yourself in the eyes of or the mind of the Most High. All right, that's some early entry-level shit. All right, not even entry-level shit. All right, if you're thinking, oh, why would he set the devil up and punish him when he set him up for that? All right, well, hey, are you the Most High? No, you're not. All right, did you create the whole earth and everything around it and everything in it? All right, in this universe? No, you didn't. So I don't think you're not even on 1/millionth of the scale that the Most High is on. All right, so don't try to put yourself in his mind, because I guarantee you, 100%, he's a lot smarter and a lot more intelligent than you are. All right, you simple ass Jakes. All right, and you simple ass Christians. All right, 2 Maccabees 7:31, and thou, all right, being Esau, that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews being the Israelites, being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, we say so-called because that's the names that have been put on us. All right. We actually go back to Israel, all right? We are the Israelites, the Bible speaks of, the chosen people of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, who you ignorantly call God in Jesus Christ, all right? We are the true people of the Most High, all right? And you've put names on us like Black, Latino, Negro, all right, Native American, Puerto Rican, all right, so on and so forth. All right. Of course, I'm not going to name Panamanians, Guatemalans, and I'm not going to be able to name them all. All right, in one setting. All right. But hey, that's the names that have been put on us. All right. That's why if you look at the 12 tribes chart, all right, and we'll actually bring it up. Why not? Let's bring it up. You're going to see our true names. All right, and then the names that have been put on us. All right. So we will go through. All right. So in case this is the first time BLM crowds, all right, and really BLM is an organization set up by the white man, all right, but in case one of you came across this, all right, because we know you frequent these videos that are put up like this about, anything that happens to a so-called black person, all right, so-called Latino or Native American as well, all right, this is the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, and this is who you really are, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? That's why it says the so-called, all right? So Judah, all right, so you got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which would be the so-called, Negroes, all right? They'd they'd just lump them all in. All right, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi would be the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, all right? So if you're Judah, you'd be the so-called Negroes, Benjamin, the so-called West Indians, the Levi would be the so-called Haitians. All right, now we're getting in the Northern Kingdom, which would be the so-called Latinos, all right, as well as the Native Americans. All right, the Southern Kingdoms consisted of what would be so-called black people. All right, so-called black people. and the Northern Kingdom's so-called Latin people as well as Native Americans. All right. So we got Simeon, who are the Dominicans, the so-called Dominicans. Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians. Ephraim, which is the Puerto Ricans. All right. And hey, man, that place is getting tore up right now. Manasseh, the so-called Cubans. Gad or Gadites, all right, would be the North American Indians, all right, the Native Americans as they would call them from that were in America. Reuben as the Seminole Indians, Naphtali the Argentinians to Chileans, Asher the Colombians to the Uruguayans, and Issachar, all right, or Iskarites, all right, would be the so-called Mexicans, all right. So hey, there you go. Now, if you stumble across this this video, this lesson, all right, now you know who you go back to, all right. Now this has been brought to your attention, all right, and you know the name of the Most High is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You were obligated, all right, to turn back and stop doing wickedness, all right. So hey, if you don't, you basically just got marked, all right. So hey, this is what we're instructed to do, all right. This is what we're instructed to do is, you know, turn back from our ways and, you know, keep the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right. So, but hey. Reason I got that is that is who the Hebrews are. All right, us. We are the Hebrews. All right, we're the Hebrew Israelites. All right, because you can't just say Hebrew because you could have Hebrew Edomites. All right, so we are the Hebrew Israelites. All right, we are Israelites. All right, that the Bible speaks of. All right, we're not black. We're not Mexican. All right, we're not a Native American. All right, we are Israelites. All right, in from our respective tribe. All right. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. And now, when you get this thing, when you come into this, everything starts making a whole lot more sense. All right, when you find out that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are Israelites, all right, or Jakes, and we call you Jake, short for Jacob, all right, whose name was later changed to Israel, as we know, all right. But hey, it makes a lot more sense when you know that the so-called white man's the Edomites, all right, and you're the Israelites, all right. Everything that you see now directly it links up directly with the Bible, all right, and their hatred for us, all right, and the slavery, all right, and the hangings and the lynchings and the buck breaking and the cannibalism, all right, and stealing all of our culture and our inventions, all right. It all adds up, all right, once you know who those nations are, all right, and that's why Esau Edom, the so-called white man, tries to hide all of this information. All right, because once we find out who we are and find out who he is, it's all over. All right, and there are Israelites are waking up on a mass scale. All right, so hey, the time's running out. All right, and it's going to come to the time where they're going to know, and they're just, what are they going to do? All right, they're going to come down on you hard, and they're going to just start killing you up because they're uncovered now. All right, once they're uncovered, they have nothing less to hide. All right, so it's going to be terrible thing. All right, what's going to be a terrible thing, but a wonderful thing, because that has to come to pass. All right, Jacob's trouble has to come to pass for us to get saved. All right, Lord willing, we're part of the elect. All right, which I hope myself to be, as well as you diligent and faithful brothers and sisters out there as well. So Obadiah 1 and 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right, and we know that Esau is our brother. All right, in the womb. All right, he was born alongside us. All right. So, well, not directly alongside us, you know what I mean. But our brother, all right, and he came out red, all right, all over, and that was that, all right. And why was our skin color not mentioned? All right, because we were brown, all right. But the reason our skin color wasn't mentioned is because everybody was brown, all right. He was the strange one for coming out red, all right. So that's why both skin colors weren't mentioned, all right. Obadiah 1 and 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right, and we shouldn't even have to go in and tell you about any of the violence that Esau has done against Israel. All right, you can look up pictures of lynching, pictures of you can look at accounts of babies being fed to alligators. All right, our women raped. All right, our men sodomized. All right, and their rods cut off. The rods being their downstairs. All right, their baby makers, if you want to call it that. All right, their rods. You should be able to make that out. All right, without saying what it is. All right. So hey, it's if you look back into history, man, you're gonna see the type of things that they did to us. All right, Flocky. Yeah, so you're gonna see the type of things that they did to us. All right, none of it was pleasant. All right, and they're gonna, I never did anything to you. All right, well, we know you are your father, the devil. All right, and we know about reincarnation. All right, we know that reincarnation is biblical. All right, and you come back every third or fourth generation. All right, and it goes by your father's seed line. All right, so you're going back to what your father was. All right, so 4 generations ago, hey, let's do the calculation. All right, let's say, how long is a generation? All right, 30 years. All right, so 30 years, 20 to 30 years. All right, so let's get 30 times 30 times 30. Oh shit, my bad. Not times, plus. Or 30 times 3. Alright, would be 90. Alright, so let's go and get let's just get let's say if you were born in 1990. Alright, alright, you'd be born in 1900. Would be the last time. Alright, you could be a little bit earlier, a little bit, not exactly the date. Alright, but we should have done a different date because 1990 is easy. You just drop the 90 and that's just 1900. But hey, it shows you right there, 1900. Alright, and that just shows you when that was the last time. Alright, now let's minus 90 from that. Alright, 1810. Alright, and if you go, and this isn't really a true date it happened, but because it lingered for quite a long time, and we're technically still in slavery. Alright, but passed by Congress in 1965. Alright, so hey, you were still slave owners. Let's go back before that, another 90. Alright, so hey, we know. Alright, so yes, you were slave owners. Alright, because almost every white person, not almost, every white person at that time was a slave owner. Alright, going back into history. Alright, they all owned so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American slaves. Alright, where are we here? So I give for that. Wish I didn't have to mess with it through the lesson. Some of it's just they don't have a good like volume normalization. Like want to go from like normal to loud as shit. So Salakia for having to mess with that. All right. So hey, we know. You've done terrible things, Esau. And yes, you have. You yourself. Well, I never had a slave. All right. Maybe not in this body you haven't. All right. But your soul, yes, you have. All right. In a past life. All right. And we know you've treated Jake like shit in this life. All right. And even if I've never said it, or if you act like you're so good, or you're like, oh, I love black people, I love them, brother, they're wonderful people. We know in your mind you're really thinking about curb stomping them, fucking, what is it, Generation X, what is that, what's that movie? You can type it in the comments if someone's got it. It's, American History X, alright? We know you're really American History X in your mind, alright, when you see a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American, alright? We know, alright? You don't just change from that. You can't just change that mindset. Alright? You can't just change that mindset. Alright? Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Who is him that shed it? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Alright, so in order to cleanse the land from all the blood that's been shed, your blood's got to be shed, Esau. Alright, you gotta go through the gauntlet, boy. Alright, you gotta go through the whipping, alright, and the beatings and the stranglings. Alright, This is Obadiah 1 and 4, all right? So you Edomites aren't going to be able to get away with this, all right? This is a small little win, little victory for you right now. Oh, I only got a couple years instead. I don't have to get abating and abetting, all right? But hey, man, in the long run, you ain't winning, all right? We're getting fucked up right now, all right? Because we're in captivity, we're in punishment. But guess what? In the long run, we're winning, all right? And I'd rather win in the long run than to have a quick temporary victory and then be put into slavery for all eternity. All right, well, eternity for you. All right, because your eternity, Esau, Edom, is 1,000 years. All right, you're gonna do 1,000 years of slavery, and then you're done. That's it. You're poof, vanished. All right, the other heathen nations, all right, like Moab, Ammon, all right, the so-called Chinese and the Japanese, all right, they do 1,000 years and they go back in their dwelling lands. All right, and they're still gonna be under us. All right, and they're gonna need us to heal them. All right, but their slavery is going to be up. They paid that, all right. But you, Edom, Esau, Edom, hey man, you got to go. This is Obadiah 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, sound familiar? And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right, so the Most High is going to tear your ass up, Esau. He's going to mess you up. You think, oh, wow, I'm gonna stay in a bunker. I'm going to stay in a bunker. Man, he's going to pill up in that bunker like a tuna can. All right? So, hey, go ahead and try to hide, all right? Please do actually hide, because you're going to be the first ones that are, you're going to be the first ones to be cleaning up the dead bodies and the first one to be going into slavery. So we all need slaves, so please, save a few of yourselves for us, all right? You can't all be missile food. We got to have a few slaves in the kingdom, all right? This is Malachi 1 and 1 through 1 and 4. Reads, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob. All right, so the Lord doesn't love you, Esau. All right, why? Because of all the wickedness that you've done. All right, and the terrible wicked. Oh, Jacob stole our birthright. No, he didn't. All right, no, he didn't. All right, he wouldn't have done that if the Most High didn't have that set up. All right, we know we don't have free will. All right, the Most High does everything. The Most High had that set up for a reason. All right, and we know that birthright was ours to begin with. All right, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob. All right. So go ahead and use all your excuses. You want to see some hate? You go to an Edomite Christian forum. I don't even want to do it, but if you go to Edomite Christian forum. And just look up like something like was Jacob wicked for his birthright or would there was one I had saved long time ago. I don't know if I have anymore, but it was people ranting about how what Jacob did was wicked, all right, and how he should he should have been punished for that. But hey, that's Esau. That's how you know they're Edomites, man. They get mad. They don't know what they're reading, but they know through the spirit, man, that they're pissed off about that. Why? Because they're Edomites. All right, this is verse 3. Verse 3. It says, and I hated Esau, and I laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. All right, so Edom, they're going to try to recover and try to rebuild. All right, but hey, ain't going to work. But I will throw down. And that shows you the nerve and the pride that Esau, the Lord took us down, we're going to rebuild. Not going to happen. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So forever. He's going to have indignation against them forever. What is indignation? Resentment, anger, distress, disgruntlement. All right, offense. All right, so he's gonna basically, they're gonna be charged with offense forever. All right, vexation. All right, so hey, resentment. All right, hatred. All right, against that people forever and ever. All right, there's nothing you can do to redeem yourself except die, Esau. That's the only thing you can do, and even that's not gonna redeem you. That's just gonna be the book closed on that one. All right, that's how you're gonna repay it. All right, is with your death. All right, is with your captivity and your death. All right, Isaiah 34 and 4 through 34 and 6. All right, so hey, you Edomites aren't getting out of this. All right, and I bet most of you Edomites probably already clicked off this video if you even came across it. All right, or if you're a YouTube worker sitting behind it, you're probably trying to find something that I'm saying so you can take the video down. All right, Isaiah 34 and 4 through 34 and 6. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. All right, and that's speaking of a nuclear mushroom cloud. All right, well, a nuke and then the nuclear mushroom cloud that comes after the nuke. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falls off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And if you look up Idumea, it's going to say Edom. All right, see, there you go. Edom. Idumea is Edom. Idumea is just the land where they dwelled. All right. And it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, and is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys and rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. All right, so hey, you're not getting out of this one scot-free, Esau. All right, so celebrate your victory now, because you're not winning in the long run. All right, Joel 3:19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. All right, and they haven't, it's mentioning Judah specifically, but that doesn't mean that the wickedness that Esau has done is only towards Judah. They've been wicked to all nations. All right, this is just a specific instance. It's mentioning Judah. All right, we know Judah's the head tribe. All right, so hey, you're not gonna make it, E. You're not gonna make it. All right, celebrate your tiny little victories now. All right, with flagging our videos and taking it down. All right, and trying to establish a new world order. We know you're gonna fail. All right, we've already seen the end of this book. We've already read it. All right, we've already seen this. We haven't seen the script. All right, but we've seen parts of the script. All right, and we know that part of the script is talking about your downfall and that you're not gonna win. All right, so hey. Sorry, not sorry. All right, we really don't give a shit about you. All right, we need some slaves in the kingdom, and that's how it's going to be, Esau. If you don't like it, hey, nothing you can do about it. Psalms 52:5-7. The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living. Selah. The righteous also shall see, and we know the righteous is going to be the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the Israelites, because they're the only ones that can be righteous. The righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in wickedness. All right, so he didn't trust in the Most High. He trusted in his wicked inventions, all right, his wicked lies, all right, his wicked things that he did and said, all right, all the, the HAARP devices, these nuclear warheads, all right, these Curious Georges, these snake bites, these snake venoms that they're rolling out. All right, the biological warfare. All right, and really that's all. That's Esau's blessing is the sword. All right, so the Most High set them up with that. All right, but hey, he's also going to take them down. All right, all that's a punishment right now, and they're condemning themselves with it. So I'm going to close out with this. This is Obadiah 1:18. It reads, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire," and I'm actually going to get one more before I close out. Obadiah 1:18, "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Jacob a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining out of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it." All right. So hey, man, these people are going to be taken down. All right, let's grab this. All right, so we're gonna close out with this. 2 Esdras 6:9. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." All right, so hey, your kingdom's got to go down so our kingdom can be brought up. All right, so our Lord's kingdom can be brought up. All right, our Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. So, hey, and we're looking forward to it. Is it going to be a scary time? Yes, it's going to be a scary time for everyone, all right? But, hey, it's got to come, all right? Lord willing, we're part of the elect, all right? And myself as well as you diligent brothers and sisters out there, Lord willing, make it out of here, all right? Because, hey, I don't know about you, all right? But, hey, I don't want no part of this heat that's coming, all right? And I don't want to stay around with these heathens, all right, when they get their judgment. All right, I want to be up in that chariot, all right, looking on down, all right, Lord willing. All right, so hey, with that, I'm going to close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until the next one, Lord willing, Shalom.